Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It's 6:37. Thanks for tuning in on this Monday edition of O'Connor and Company. Coming up at 7:05, Joe DeGeneva, as he always does. He'll join us at that hour on a Monday. And then at 8:35, Sean Carney from 40 Days for Life. It's Larry O'Connor with Julie Gunlaw. Jules.
Good morning.
I know you know this woman because I see right after her name, Independent Women's Voice. Let's go. Carrie Sheffield, Senior Policy Analyst at that fine, august institution. Good morning, Carrie. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Pretty good. You know, I know you've been covering the Virginia election for governor. It is kind of remarkable. In any other time, this would be such a huge national story that two women are vying for this seat, which means it's guaranteed we're going to have our first woman governor. But I always get the feeling like when the media draws attention to the fact that two women are running, they're going to have to acknowledge the existence of Winsome Sears. It's like they just try to pretend she doesn't exist.
That's a great point. And by the way, she's also an immigrant and a black woman, which supposedly the left should be embracing her and lionizing her. I was thinking about that and how compare and contrast Stacey Abrams, who's lost a ton of money and siphoned a lot of money through corrupt, grants and such from the Biden administration, and also through her supposed voting rights groups, which is under investigation for fraud. She's been on the cover of all these women's magazines, and Oprah Winfrey just, could not get enough of Stacey Abrams because she's a black woman, but It's because she's a Democrat. And so where are the just crickets about the fact that Winsome Sears is the first black woman to be lieutenant governor in the former capital of the Confederacy, Virginia? And she's nowhere. She's not on the cover of Ebony magazine, of, Jet magazine. Where's Oprah for Winsome Sears? It does make total sense because she's not towing the line of the progressive left. Yeah. And I will also add, as you note the historic nature of two women running against each other, except for one of the women can't even define what a woman is.
Well,
and that was the Abigail.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that. It seems like Spanberger is really trying to avoid a lot of issues that are important to women, specifically parents' rights, and also protecting women's spaces and sports. And Winsome Sears, on the other hand, she's allied herself with IWV, saying that women's sports and spaces should be preserved. That also has gotten no media. Winsome Sears is a true champion of women, whereas Spanberger either stays silent on the issue or just doesn't care about women. Why isn't Spanberger being challenged on this?
Well, we have been challenging her at Independent Women's Voice. We have purchased ads on radio to call out Spanberger because while she was in Congress, she voted against protecting women's sports, which is enormously against the will of the people. So 80% of people roughly say this is wrong, that men should not be in women's sports, men should not be in women's prisons. That's a 90% issue. 90% of people say that men should not be in women's prisons. Abigail Spanberger cares nothing about that. She was also a supporter, a co-sponsor of the so-called Equality Act, which on its face sounds good. We all want equality, right? No, because what this law would do, or this bill would do, it would obliterate the definition of sex, of female, of male and female being distinct. And so it would categorically erase what it means to be a woman and a girl. And Abigail Spanberger was the co-sponsor of that bill while in Congress.
By the way, I want to point out that Carrie Sheffield, the woman we're speaking with right now, is going to participate in a roundtable with Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears today. It's called Women Win with Winsome. That's like it's like a vocal warm up for a radio host. Say that 10 times fast. It's in Upperville, Virginia. Yeah, it's 3 p.m., right, is when the doors open. So how can people get information about that, Carrie? Do you know?
Absolutely. We'd love to see any of your listeners there. The website you can go to is winsomeupperville.eventbrite.com. I'm also going to put it on Twitter, on my X.
Carrie, listen, I know that this issue in terms of defining women, keeping women's spaces safe from men, it resonates here on our show. I think it resonates with most people. Is it resonating on the campaign trail right now? I do see Winsome Sears' social media activity on it. I haven't seen many ads. I don't know if is she leading with this issue? Is it working with the voters?
She has started to, as you might have seen, she had a shakeup with her campaign manager. She recently fired her previous one. He was a pastor with, it seems, apparently zero political experience, which to me just doesn't make sense. So I'm personally glad to see that guy's out the door, because she needs someone who has more experience. The new team does seem to be bringing their A game. And so I'm happy to be talking about policy on this panel today. And, it goes beyond just women's issues, that, in terms of her extremism. I mean, she voted against the Laken Riley Act, which would, it prevents violent illegal aliens from perpetuating further crime. She rubber stamped all of Joe Biden's horrible spending bills that caused 20% inflation, generational inflation that hurt American families. She would roll back Governor Youngkin's regulatory reforms that have reduced the price of home building in Virginia. So, I could go on, but she's an extremist.
She really is, and dressed up in a fabulous J. Crew outfit and pretending to be just pragmatic, moderate suburban
mom.
Yeah, just a soccer mom. All right, Carrie Sheffield, thanks for joining us, and good luck on the Women Win with Winsome roundtable today.
Thanks, Carrie.
Women win.
Thank you, guys.
Winsome.
Have a great day.